It started with a single image. No caption, no hashtags, no promotions. Just one quiet, beautiful moment that made the entire world stop scrolling and start feeling. The photo? A simple black and white picture posted to Lee Min-ho's Instagram. It showed him holding a baby, their baby, in one arm. Kim Go-eun leaned against his shoulder, her eyes closed, peaceful and smiling. The baby's tiny hand rested on her chest. No names, no words, just a pure, intimate moment captured in stillness. And within 30 minutes, the internet exploded. But to understand the power of that picture, to truly feel what made the world cry over it, we have to go back to the quiet months when the world didn't even know they were expecting. Because Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun didn't announce the pregnancy. They didn't sign brand deals. Didn't release exclusive magazine interviews. They chose silence. They chose peace. While the rest of the industry raced for headlines, they were creating something far more powerful, a home. Sources close to them said the pregnancy was something they wanted to cherish privately. Lee Min-ho reportedly canceled several overseas events, citing personal priorities. Kim Go-eun stepped away from all new projects, and fans noticed her social media grew quieter. But no one guessed the truth. Behind the scenes, they were preparing for a new chapter. A life not as celebrities, but as parents. The baby was born quietly one morning in early spring. Cherry blossoms had just begun to bloom outside their Seoul residence. The birth was natural, calm, surrounded only by trusted family members and two longtime friends. The hospital never released a statement. No one leaked any photos. They had arranged everything down to the smallest detail. The baby, a girl, came into the world healthy, crying loudly as if already aware she was born to a legacy of stars. And yet, to her parents, she was simply our little light. Lee Min-ho reportedly cried when he held her for the first time. Not on camera, not for show, but because in that moment, everything, every award, every applause, felt small compared to the weight of her in his arms. Kim Go-eun later told a close friend, "When he looked at her, I saw a side of him no role had ever shown. That wasn't Lee Min-ho the actor. That was Min-ho the father." For weeks, they remained completely silent. No baby gifts posted. No nursery reveals. And then came the photo. The one that changed everything. It was uploaded quietly at 9:03 a.m. Korean time on a Sunday morning. No filter. No caption. Just pure love. The composition was breathtaking. Min-ho slightly turned to the side, with their daughter nestled in his arm. Go-eun, in a soft, oversized cardigan, resting against him as if the world didn't exist. The baby wore a simple onesie. No designer clothes. No big bows. Just tiny fingers and a sleepy expression. It was real, raw, honest. And the fans? They were not ready. Within the hour, hashtags like hashtag #MinGoBaby, hashtag First Family Photo, and hashtag Gunli Family trended globally. Celebrities began commenting, "I've never cried over a photo like this before. This is what love looks like. Forget the red carpets. This is the picture of the year." Even international outlets picked it up. Time magazine posted it on their digital front page with the title, "Asia's Power couple introduced their greatest collaboration yet." But perhaps the most beautiful reaction came from fans. Thousands began sharing stories of how this photo restored their belief in love, in quiet beginnings, in family. One fan wrote, "In a world full of noise, they gave us silence. And in that silence, we heard love louder than ever." Another posted, "That baby doesn't know yet, but she was born into a love story greater than any drama." And they were right, because Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun didn't just fall in love. They built something sacred. They built a life where their child would grow up knowing what real love looked like, where privacy wasn't about hiding, it was about protecting. Insiders say the couple has already made key decisions about parenting. No baby endorsements, no brand ambassadorships, no reality shows, just childhood, just moments, just family. One of Min-ho's closest friends shared anonymously. He said, "I've been famous since my 20s, I don't want that for her. I want her to know forests, not flashes. Go-eun echoed the sentiment in a private letter she wrote, one she hasn't published. But friends say she's saving for her daughter to read someday. The opening line? You were born from love, not headlines. And maybe that's why the photo hit so deeply. Because in a world obsessed with oversharing, here was a couple who waited, who protected, who chose their moment not for impact, but for intention. And when they finally shared it, they broke the internet, not with scandal, but with sincerity. A few days after the photo went viral, Kim Go-eun uploaded a quiet story to her private account, just a short video. Lee Min-ho was in the living room, holding their daughter, gently dancing with her to no music, just the sound of a breeze through the window. She captioned it, his favorite role yet. And truly, fans agreed, they'd seen Lee Min-ho as kings, fighters, CEOs, and time travelers. But nothing compared to the role of father. Nothing compared to the soft way he looked at his child. Nothing compared to the warmth in Kim Go-eun's eyes as she watched them together. No drama could write this kind of love, because it wasn't written. It was lived. And now, with one simple photo, the world had been invited in, not to a performance, but to something real. The photo had already made history, but what followed was even more beautiful, because after the world saw the picture, something unexpected happened. It wasn't chaos. It wasn't speculation. It was quiet admiration. And for the first time in a long time, the internet, known for tearing things apart, came together to celebrate. Letters from fans poured in, not just from Korea, but from every corner of the world, from mothers who hadn't seen their families in years, from young couples who now believed in love again, from people who said, I didn't think two people could be this genuine in an industry built on illusion. But Min-ho and Go-eun didn't react with another post. They stayed silent, and that silence said everything. A week after the photo, the couple was spotted for the first time, out together, casually walking through a quiet neighborhood in Seoul. They wore hats, masks, no security, just two people pushing a baby stroller. An elderly woman who passed them by later shared her story anonymously online. She wrote, I saw them in the park. I didn't even recognize them at first. But the way he looked at her, and the way they looked at that child, that was love, not celebrity love. Just love. And that's exactly what made this next chapter feel so special. Because Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun were no longer just actors. They were partners. And now they were parents. Close sources said in the days